Even with all their training and careful planning, the divers faced unexpected dangers that led to tragedy, showing just how risky cave diving can be. Imagine slipping through a small hole in a frozen lake, entering a narrow, dark passage full of icy water and descending over 400 feet or 120 meters. This is what 5 brave cave divers did in February 2014. Everything started fine, but a series of events changed everything in an instant. With their friends' lives at risk, the divers had to make every tough decisions. This is the scary story of the Plura Cave disaster. Kai Cannon, a well-known Finnish diver, started diving at local quarries but faced his first tragedy in 2013 while diving with a close friend. Soon after they entered the water, Kai saw his friend wasn't moving and his regulator had been fallen out. Despite trying to save him and calling for help, his friend died. It turned out his friend had forgotten to open the oxygen valve on his rebreather. Heartbroken by the incident, Kai wanted to quit cave diving but couldn't leave his passion. A few months later, he went diving again with friends Patrick's Risk, Jari Rinen, and Vesa Rinen. They planned a very dangerous and challenging dive, Norway's Plura Cave Complex. Norway's Plura River starts in Lake Sinnet and flows through the beautiful Plura Valley. It is Northern Europe's largest water-filled natural cave. In early 2014, Kai and 4 other divers planned an epic dive there. The team included 42-year-old fireman Patrick, 40-year-old production manager Jari, and 34-year-old mechanical engineer Ered Yaru. All were experienced cave divers and technical divers. Their goal was to dive more than 320 feet below the surface of Plura River. Kai and Jari had set an unofficial Finnish record a few years earlier by diving 688 feet in the Halalau quarry. Kai and Patrick had previously crossed a passage connecting the Plura Cave's 2 entrances. This time, they planned to do it in the opposite direction. On February the 5th, 2014, the men started their journey, which included a road trip through Finland, Sweden, and Norway. The roads were slippery and dangerous, but they arrived at 4 Brew Farm early on February the 6th. They carefully prepared their gear so it wouldn't freeze solid overnight. The divers decided to sleep in until 8 a.m. to get enough rest. The plan was to break into 2 groups with start times 2 hours apart. This would allow the sediment stirred up by the first group to settle before the second group entered and enable one group to help the other if needed. The first group included Patrick and Jari H, with Kai, Vesa, and Yaru following later. On the morning of February the 6th, Patrick and Jari H cut a hole in the ice-covered lake, finding the water so clear that they could see the rocky bottom nearly 60 feet down. The divers were in good spirits despite getting a late start. They started their underwater scooters and began descending toward the entrance of the submerged cave. The underwater scooters, essential for converting energy and moving quickly, allowed the divers to cover more ground. They also used closed-circuit rebreathers, which recirculate exhaled gases unlike traditional open-circuit equipment. However, closed-circuit systems, while extending dive times, are more complex and can malfunction. As Patrick and Jari H went through the cave, they came to a narrow part with a sharp turn. Patrick went first but lost sight of Jari. When he looked back, he saw Yari's headlamp moving wildly, showing he was in trouble. Yari's scooter cord was stuck in the crack and was struggling. Patrick freed Jari, but this delay was bad. Jari got more stressed. He switched between his rebreather and backup, but this regulator fell out. Patrick tried to help, but Jari breathed in a lot of cold water and died. Now, Patrick had a long way up and realized he was in danger too. His dive computer showed it would have taken over 400 minutes to ascend, much longer than expected. Patrick knew he couldn't just swim to the surface, he had to follow the dive computer's ascent schedule to avoid deadly decompression sickness. He also had less oxygen after sharing his supply with Jari. As he began his slow ascent, he worried about what would happen to the other divers when they encountered Jari's body blocking the path. Meanwhile, Kai, Vesa, and Jaru began their dive. They found Jari's H's lifeless body and had to remove their gear to squeeze past him, adding their already long dive time. As they progressed, Vesa's fin got tangled in the guideline, further delaying them. Then, Kai noticed Jaru swimming strangely and switching between his rebreather and open circuit system. Jaru eventually became lifeless, and Kai realized he had to save himself. Kai continued the dive, navigating the narrow passages and dealing with the effects of nitrogen narcosis, which impairs judgment and motor skills. Despite the pressure, he focused on swimming the ascent. Back on the surface, rescuers were unaware of the tragedy unfolding below. When Kai finally surfaced, he was alone. The rescue operation to recover the bodies in Jari H and Jaru was dangerous and complex. Divers faced similar risk and had to make multiple divers to retrieve their friends. The entire ordeal highlighted the extreme dangers of cave diving and the importance of careful planning and preparation. Jaru was 34 years old and worked as a mechanical engineer. He was an experienced cave diver and very skilled at technical diving. Jaru was part of the Finnish team diving in the Plura Cave in Norway. He was known for being calm and technically skilled, making him a valuable team member. Sadly, Jaru had problems with his breathing equipment during the dive and did not survive. Jari H was 40 years old and worked as a production manager. Like Jaru, he was a certified and experienced cave diver. He had dived with Kai before he was in the first group to enter the Plura Cave. Jari H got into trouble when his scooter cord got stuck. Even with Patrick's help, Jari H had issues with his breathing equipment, inhaled cold cave water, and died. His death was a huge loss for the team and showed just how dangerous cave diving can be. The Plura Cave disaster is a great reminder of the dangers of extreme diving. It shows the need for strict safety protocols and the importance of being ready for the unexpected. If you found this story compelling, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more gripping tales of adventures and survival. What do you think are the most important precautions to take when engaging in extreme sports like cave diving? Share your thoughts and any personal experiences in the comments below, and let us know what other stories you'd like to hear. Thank you for watching and stay safe out there.